Ever feel like you're walking on eggshells?
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for a client to just go off.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's
Yeah.
a situation we all dread,
For sure.
but it doesn't have to, derail our day, our week, or even our sanity.
Right.
So today we're diving into handling rude clients,
Mm-hmm.
a guide to professional survival.
Okay.
And we're going to try to extract some tactical advice on not just surviving,
Mm-hmm.
but thriving when we have those hostile clients.
Yeah, and what I think is so fascinating about this guide is that it goes beyond that surface level advice, the just stay calm kind of thing.
Right.
It really digs into the psychology behind why certain tactics work,
Okay.
which I think helps us apply them more effectively.
So it's not just about like gritting our teeth and bearing it.
Exactly.
It's about understanding why these things work and
Right.
using that to our advantage.
Yeah.
So the first tactic that really grabbed my attention was this idea of acknowledging the client's emotions
Mm-hmm.
without validating their rudeness. And the guide uses the Zen master analogy.
And that analogy is so brilliant because it highlights how important detachment is.
Okay.
If you think about a Zen master, they're not getting all swept away by the chaos around them.
Right.
They observe, they acknowledge, but they don't engage emotionally.
Okay.
And I think that's crucial when you're dealing with a rude client.
So instead of getting defensive or mirroring their anger back to them,
Yeah,
we take a step back
exactly.
and we just see their behavior for what it is.
Yes.
It's just noise.
Yeah,
And we don't let it affect our own internal state.
right. It's not about you.
Okay.
And the guide gives some really practical scripts for this.
Okay.
For example, instead of saying, I understand you're frustrated,
Right.
which kind of sounds like you're agreeing with their outburst,
Yeah.
you could say, I hear that you're feeling frustrated with the delay.
Okay.
Let's focus on what we can do to get things back on track.
Gotcha.
So you're acknowledging their feelings, but you're also immediately pivoting back to problem-solving mode.
Yeah, that shift in focus is key, isn't it?
Yes.
It's like we're saying, okay, I see your drama,
Uh-huh.
but we're not going to get bogged down in it.
Right.
We're here to find solutions.
Exactly.
And that brings us to the guide's next tactic,
Okay.
which is all about becoming a human firewall.
Yes.
I love that.
And this is where we move from reactive to proactive.
Okay.
So setting those clear boundaries
Mm-hmm.
is absolutely crucial. It
Okay.
protects your time, your energy, and ultimately your sanity.
Because without those boundaries, those rude clients,
Yeah.
they're just going to keep pushing
Oh, for sure.
until you're completely overwhelmed.
Yeah, they're going to be like, how much can I get away with?
Right. Exactly. So how do we build this firewall? What are some practical tips from the guide?
It starts with setting those clear expectations right from the get-go.
Okay.
Like, let clients know what your working hours are,
Mm-hmm.
your preferred communication methods,
Right.
and your typical response times.
Okay.
This isn't about being rigid or inflexible.
Mhm.
It's more about setting a professional framework right from the start.
So it's almost like having a client agreement.
Yeah,
Even if it's not a formal contract,
exactly.
you're laying out the ground rules right away.
Yes.
But what happens when a client tries to breach those boundaries?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if they demand an immediate response on a Sunday evening?
Yeah, that's where the power of saying no comes in.
Okay.
And that can feel uncomfortable at first,
Right.
especially if you're used to bending over backwards for clients.
Yeah.
But learning to politely
Mm-hmm.
yet firmly decline those unreasonable requests
Okay.
is a game changer.
I could see how that could be a challenge.
Yeah,
Like, we've been conditioned to say yes to everything,
right.
especially when it comes to clients.
Exactly.
But the guide emphasizes that saying no.
Uh-huh.
It's not about being unaccommodating.
Right.
It's about protecting your boundaries.
Yes.
And maintaining that healthy client-provider relationship.
Absolutely. And the guide offers some really good scripts for saying no gracefully.
Okay.
Like, I appreciate you reaching out, but I'm currently unavailable outside of business hours. I'll be happy to respond to your request first thing tomorrow morning.
No, that's a great example.
Yeah.
It sets that clear expectation without being dismissive.
Exactly.
And that brings us to another crucial aspect of boundary setting,
Okay.
knowing when not to engage.
Right. The guide makes this comparison.
Okay.
Arguing with a rude client is like wrestling a pig in the mud.
Oh,
You both get dirty and the pig enjoys it.
okay.
Sometimes the best response is no response at all,
Right.
especially when you're dealing with someone who's intentionally trying to provoke a reaction.
They're feeding off that negative energy.
Exactly.
So instead of getting sucked into their vortex of drama,
Yes.
we detach,
Uh-huh.
we remain calm, and we redirect the conversation back to the matter at hand. But what happens when those interactions escalate? Even when we're doing everything right.
Right.
The guide talks about the importance of documentation.
Yes. And this is where we move from self-protection into like really protecting ourselves.
Okay.
Documentation seems tedious,
Yeah.
but it can really be your saving grace.
Yeah.
If a client tries to twist the narrative or make false accusations,
Right.
it's about having that clear, objective record
Gotcha.
of all of your interactions.
So we're not just talking about like taking notes for our own reference.
Right.
We're talking about creating a paper trail that could protect us if things go south.
Exactly. Think of it as your insurance policy.
Okay.
The guide recommends keeping a detailed log of all your communications, including dates, times, specific quotes, and any actions that were taken.
So if a client tries to dispute something or claim you said something you didn't,
Yes.
you have the evidence to back you up.
Exactly.
It's like having that gotcha moment,
Yes.
except in a professional setting. And the guide even suggests keeping a separate file for those like particularly outrageous client quotes.
A rude client hall of fame.
I love it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a way to find some humor in those frustrating situations.
Right.
And to remind yourself that you're not alone
Exactly.
in dealing with these difficult clients.
Yeah.
But beyond just the amusement, those documented quotes can be really valuable if you ever need to escalate the situation.
Right. Because sometimes, despite our best efforts to stay calm and set boundaries,
Yes.
we encounter those clients that are just plain toxic.
Right.
And that brings us to the guide's final tactic,
Okay.
knowing when to escalate and when to walk away.
This is where we move from self-protection to self-preservation.
Okay.
Recognizing the signs of a toxic client is crucial
Yeah.
for protecting your mental and emotional well-being.
So what are some of the red flags that we should be looking out for?
Well, the guide highlights a few key indicators.
Okay.
Things like consistent disrespect, abusive language, unrealistic expectations that are constantly being pushed even after you've addressed them repeatedly.
Yeah.
These clients are not just rude.
Right.
They're actively creating a harmful environment.
And in those situations, it's not about trying to like win them over or prove them wrong.
Right.
It's about recognizing that your well-being is paramount.
Absolutely. And that's where escalation comes in.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to involve your manager or supervisor.
Right.
It's not a sign of weakness.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a sign of strength.
Okay.
It shows that you are prioritizing your own well-being.
Yeah.
And that you're not willing to tolerate abuse.
It's about recognizing that you deserve to work in an environment where you're treated with respect.
Yes.
And sometimes that means removing yourself from a toxic situation.
Absolutely. The guide emphasizes that walking away from a toxic client isn't giving up.
Right.
It's choosing to invest your time and energy in clients who value your expertise and treat you with respect.
So it's about creating a healthier and more sustainable work life for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's empowering to realize that we have more control
Right.
over these situations than we think.
Yeah.
We're not just passive recipients of rude behavior.
Yeah.
We have tools and tactics
Yes.
at our disposal to navigate these challenges and protect ourselves.
I think what's so powerful about these tactics is that they really help us change our mindset.
Yeah.
You know, instead of thinking that we're just surviving rude clients,
Right.
we can actually thrive in our professional lives,
Yeah.
even when we're faced with these difficult people.
It's like we've been given this toolkit, and now we can go out there and we can build those boundaries, enforce those expectations,
Exactly.
and even walk away from those toxic situations knowing that we're not just protecting ourselves.
Yeah.
They're advocating for our worth.
Exactly. And remember, these tactics aren't just for those like really extreme cases of abuse.
Right.
You know, they can be applied to any situation where you feel like your boundaries are being tested or your professionalism is being challenged.
Okay.
It's about setting that standard for how you expect to be treated by clients and by yourself.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to turn it over to our listeners.
Yes.
What resonated with you most?
What are your go-to strategies?
Yeah. Have you ever been in a situation where you wish you had these tactics in your back pocket?
Exactly. We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences.
Because at the end of the day, we're all in this together.
We are.
We all face challenging clients.
For sure.
From time to time.
Yes.
But now, armed with these insights and these tactics, we can approach those situations with more confidence.
More clarity.
More clarity and a stronger sense of self-assurance.
Yeah.
we can build those firewalls, document those interactions, and walk away from those toxic relationships.
Knowing that we're not just surviving.
Right.
But we're thriving. And remember, even Zen masters have their off days. It's okay to feel frustrated or overwhelmed, but having these tools in your arsenal can really make all the difference in how you navigate those challenges and ultimately how you define your success.
Until next time, keep diving deep. And remember, you've got this.